Phugtal Monastery, nestled in remote Zanskar in Jammu and Kashmir's Ladakh region, situated at a height of 12,500 feet. This 2,500-year-old monastery, considered the most holy in the region, is accessible only through a narrow, treacherous trail. Nearly 100 monks live here, including some 4-year-olds. But after sundown, the entire region plunges into darkness. The only source of light, kerosene and solar lamps. But this is going to change. The Global Himalayan Expedition's 20-member team from 13 countries will travel to light up the Phugtal Monastery with solar power. The sun is by far the most valuable source of energy for all life on Earth. It is perhaps for this reason that this ball of fire is worshipped across cultures, including our own. The sun's radiant light and heat can also be harnessed as solar energy. The Ladakh region receives abundant sunlight due to its altitude, thin air, and lack of moisture.
Basically, Ladakh is a cold desert, the monsoon wind which comes from the plains, the Himalaya mountains which comes in between, it robs off its all moisture which it has. So once we reach Ladakh, which is on the leeward side of the Himalaya or the rain shadow side of the Himalaya, they are left with no moisture. So Ladakh is left high and dry.
Despite the abundance of sunlight, vegetation is scarce. The barren land with gravel and sand makes Ladakh uninhabitable. The only respite, melting glaciers.
Wherever you find a glacier, where you see a water trickling from the glacier, you find a habitation.
Despite the harsh conditions, tourists from around the world continue to flock to Ladakh every year. Like 30-year-old electrical engineer Paras Lumba, a visit 3 years ago when he was with a solar company changed his life.
The irony is, this resource solar is so much available in Ladakh and still there are villages which are not connected to the grid. So the idea was if we can actually set up microgrids which are simple to set it up and use solar as the power.
दोषी साहब, पहली बार आपके गांव में रोशनी हमारी टीम के हाथों, चलो करें रोशनी।
Paras went on to establish the Global Himalayan Expedition, or GHE, along with his brother Varun in 2013. They first set up an education base that runs on solar energy.
Good morning. The idea actually came by the students. They were very impressed with the use of renewable energy to power the e-base, which is the education base that we run here. But it is the same students that go back to the villages and they don't have electricity. So for us, it was an eye-opener that for the villagers from where these students come in, if we can give them electricity there, it can transform them.
There are a little under 6 lakh villages in India, out of which over 1 lakh remain in the dark. According to the Ministry of Power, in the Himalayan region of Jammu and Kashmir, about 100 villages have been electrified with SPV microgrids by government organizations like Lareda and Creda, which are the renewable energy development agencies of Leh and Kargil. However, several villages are still waiting to be connected to a grid in the state and particularly in the remote regions of Ladakh. The global Himalayan expedition set out to identify these unelectrified villages. They've successfully lit up 10 remote villages in Ladakh, and their goal is to light up 20 more in the next 1 year.
We follow a full-fledged sustainability model for the operation of our microgrid. So the way it works is every household in the village which gets light from our microgrid contributes a monthly rental, and this money is collected into a joint account which is done by 2 villagers of the same village, and they put in the money for next 5 years, 6 years, and this money is used to maintain and upgrade the grid and also repair any components of the grid if it is required. It's good that we give light to a village, but what with the light? You can either work or you can sleep in light. So the idea is to use this light to create income generation. So we actually promote homestays in these villages, or we create homestays in these villages for trekkers and tourists to stay in these homes, use the light as a facility and pay the villagers some money.
20 people from 13 countries have contributed to lighting up the remote Phugtal Monastery in the Lungnak Valley in Zanskar. Over the next few weeks, they will travel to the Gompa to electrify it with solar microgrids.
They say the cave of the Phugtal Monastery is almost as old as 2,500 years old, and the monastery is as old as 700 years old. And in spite of so much of heritage to it, it still doesn't have a single light bulb. So the idea is to take these 20 people from 13 different countries this year, trek to this monastery and set up 7 solar microgrids and light that up in just exactly 2 days.
The team of 20, including 9 women from 13 countries, has arrived in Leh, the capital of Ladakh.
Good morning, Melinda.
Hi.
Good to see you. How was the flight?
Good.
How are you? Doing good, doing good. Good to see you all packed up. Welcome to Leh.
They are welcomed with a Kathak, the traditional Buddhist scarf, to the Mahabodhi Meditation Center by the head Lama. This will be their base for the next 2 days.
Welcome to Himalaya. More welcome to Mahabodhi. Hello, hello, hello.
We're going to follow a targ road for about 250 kilometers.
Leading the pack of changemakers is Rolf, an IT project manager from Denmark.
The fact that it's a monastery in itself is amazing, and then to see it lit up, I can't wait.
All right, come on guys. Keep your bags here and move for lunch. Ensure your bags are tagged. Is that bag tagged?
Looking after logistics of the expedition is Jaideep Bansal, a 28-year-old engineer from IIT Mumbai, who quit his job at a multinational to be part of the initiative.
Chalo, start.
When you're operating in the remotest regions of the world, operations plays a very important role, and we have to be very precise how much material we are carrying to these villages. Even one material shortage can lead to the grid not working. So when the team lands in Leh and we acclimatize them for 2 days, we ensure that all our bags are packed, we ensure each and every material is there, ready to be transported to the village, and after 2 days, we left for Kargil with all our material.
Journey from Leh to Kargil took us 7 hours, which was 250 kilometers, and it was so amazing journey. You have huge mountains around you and with different colors. And finally, in the evening, we reached Kargil. We stayed the night at Kargil, and it was the last night we got to sleep on beds in the entire expedition.
Right now, we're just loosening up before the first part of the bus ride, which is going to be roughly 20-30 minutes.
When you do the trekking, the body opens up, gets into a better shape, and also creates a good team building among everyone. So I think it's the first adventure of our tri-adventure activity.
My name's Lee. I'm from Wales in the UK,
I had the summit to myself and decided I want to do something different, help somebody.
What makes a 17-year-old girl come from USA to this valley? What makes a doctor from South Africa come to this valley? They're all here just for one cause, to light up the Himalayas, to light up Phugtal.
From Kargil at 9,500 feet, it was uphill cycling for 40 kilometers. With the team finally making their way in vehicles to Rangdom at 13,000 feet. Passing through countless streams and valleys, inching closer to Phugtal.
Rangdom Valley, which is at the height of about 13,000 feet above sea level, and it was very freezing and chilling. But fortunately, we have got amazing tents in which we were able to sleep all night. The next step is Icha village, where roads end.
As the team takes the interior roads of the valley, where the harsh flow of the water has shifted the sand and gravel, forming large pits, making for an uncomfortable drive. But the scenery is a sight for sore eyes. On crossing the Penzila Pass at 14,000 feet.
On our way to Icha, we crossed Penzila Pass, which is at the height of around 14,000 feet. It was so windy and so chilling. You can see huge snow-capped mountains, glaciers on our way. There was snow at every place. And it was so freezing, we were not able to touch our tripods, metal equipment.
This is just unreal. So I remember sitting in the bus at one point and I just had like a couple of seconds of reflection of, wow, look where I am.
The team is close to the 23-kilometer long Drung Drung Glacier, which is the second longest glacier in India after Siachen. The glacier shows visible signs of global warming.
Just few years back, it used to be till this point, full of snow. And for the last few years, it has been receding and going back and again. So this is exactly a sign of climate change. The level of water of the rivers have gone down. It has impacted the agriculture in this area.
Throughout the way it was bumpy rides, all the rocky mountains and the glaciers, snow, water throughout the journey. And all the time I was thinking like hats off to people who managed to come so far and going to such remote places, because I don't think so a normal man will ever think of in this journey where it is not even guaranteed whether you will make it so far or not. But then, yeah, it is definitely worth it.
My name is Graham Jones. I'm from Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm a specialist in pediatrics, which means I love children, I love helping sick children, and I've dedicated my life to that. So really when this opportunity with GHE, to work with GHE came about, it was really combining all of these interests that I have, where they're going to some of the most remotest places of the world, deep into the Himalaya, to the Ladakh province, and to people who've been really cut off from the mainstream world from a basic point of view, from an energy point of view, an electricity point of view.
10 local porters and 45 horses accompany the team on their final trek to Phugtal. This is a major source of livelihood for villagers who accompany tourists on treks.
Normal road today, so we're going to start out easy. But we're going to take first a path here, which I'm going to think everybody's going to be a little bit tired just from the beginning. But it's going to be a good start.
The 15-kilometer rocky trail to Char is a dangerous one. The lack of oxygen and the scorching sun can be extremely dehydrating and draining. But a misstep can be fatal.
It was a dangerous trek because on one side you have the glacial river flowing, And even one small step, because the trek route is very narrow, even one small wrong step can lead you to falling into the river. But at the same time, it's very important to keep the entire team grouped together so that we are all walking at a normal pace and taking regular breaks.
Despite frequent breaks during the 9-hour trek, the team finally reach Cha village, greeted by local women carrying the native brew known as chang. Nestled in the Zanskar Valley, Cha is at an altitude of 12,500 feet. The entire region is economically dependent on farming, which is seasonal, but the major source of livelihood is livestock. While summers are comfortable in Cha, winters are difficult, especially without electricity.
हमारा गांव में बिजली नहीं है सर, हमको बहुत प्रॉब्लम है सर, बच्चों को पढ़ाई करने के लिए नहीं है, फिर लड़कियों को रात को जो काम करता है वो नहीं हो सकता है, इसलिए बहुत मुश्किल है सर। बीमार होगा तो हमारा यहाँ लोकल एमसी है सर, इससे करता है, नहीं तो हम ज़्यादा सीरियस होगा तो हम पदुम में ले जाते हैं घोड़े पर सर, ये मुश्किल है सर हमारे लिए।
20 people from 13 countries on a journey to light up the 2,500-year-old cave monastery. It's been a week since landing in Ladakh, and they are ready to embark on the final trek to Phugtal. The roads are treacherous and not for the faint-hearted. Loose gravel, giant boulders, steep cliffs over a flowing glacier river, and temporary bridges are a common sight in the Zanskar Valley. After 4 hours of trekking from Cha, the team has finally reached the foothill of Phugtal Monastery and are welcomed by lamas who have come down to receive them. Paras and the other team members of the global Himalayan expedition will spend the next 3 days lighting up the Phugtal Monastery. Very few travelers come to this cave monastery. Locals from nearby villages have to trek for days to reach Phugtal, regarded among the holiest in the region, to offer their prayers.
Light is very important. Very, very thank you all.
Looking after administration of the monastery is Lama Thinlis, who's been living at the monastery since he was 10.
What will electricity or light, how will it help the monks in this monastery?
लाइट के बारे में है ना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है क्योंकि लिए we have to lot of student it is light is very important because no light in the night, no homework, no memorizing, no English, math, science, no anything working.
It is believed that nearly 2,500 years ago, men in search of enlightenment from the farthest reaches of South Asia came here to meditate in the Lungnak Valley. Many stayed on to become lamas. Over the next few centuries, as more and more monks and lamas made their way here, they built a multitude of cave chambers at 12,500 feet. Ancient history is just one of the many reasons that have prompted these people from various countries to fund and electrify the monastery.
Be careful with your head. Be careful with your head.
such an amazing monastery and so much history here, and just walking around you can feel all of it, and it's such a special calmer and environment, and everybody's really happy and welcoming us. That's really nice.
The lamas, some as young as 4, are not distracted by the presence of visitors. This is possible due to the strict discipline enforced by the head lama, Tenzing Norbu. He's been head of the Phugtal Monastery for over 20 years and considers it his responsibility to preserve the Gompa's ancient tradition and legacy. Lamas here are content despite the mishaps in the dark.
बहुत स्टिप है, डेंजर भी है. फिर पहले उधर से भी एक लामा, छोटा लामा तो पतंग करने के लिए एक तो गिर गया. फिर ये सब बहुत डेंजर है. रात को अंदर जाने आने जाने के लिए बहुत मुश्किल है.
Electrification of the Zanskar region, which comes under the Kargil constituency, is the responsibility of the central government-run organization called CREDA, Kargil Renewable Energy Development Agency. CREDA has successfully electrified 24 villages and 64 schools in Kargil, and it's also distributed 2,000 home lighting systems or solar chargeable lamps in the more remote regions of Zanskar, including 20 at Phugtal. But it's proving to be insufficient.
In Phugtal, we are very much thankful to GHE and their team. We had already installed their home lighting systems, but it is not that much sufficient to electrify whole Gompa. You see there is 70 to 80 rooms there. Only we given maybe 20-25 home lighting systems. Mostly they cover the prayers rooms and other areas.
Okay guys, you would have seen the monastery now. It's quite a long monastery. So this monastery we are dividing into 7 parts. And these 7 parts will be electrified by 3 groups. So we will divide you in 3 groups, as you know. And the team leaders for 3 groups would be Rolf, Jaideep and May. Every group will have an electrician with them so that you are aware on how to do the things. Today you will make sure that you go to each and every room of every monk and talk to them and understand how much LED lights the room or that apartment requires.
उसके आगे ये क्या है? ये कमरा कितना कमरा है? 2 कमरा है. 2 rooms. So they have 1 bathroom, 1 toilet, which is bang opposite. So if this is the road, 4 rooms. So there are 4 rooms towards the right of this side. So let's just do a survey of this then.
The monastery has 90 rooms, a library, 2 temples, a kitchen and several lavatories. The 3 teams interact with the lamas to learn about their needs and expectations.
आपका रूम का कोई नाम है? आपका नाम क्या है? एक ही रूम है आपका नीचे और नहीं है ना रूम?
It's important to calculate the number of bulbs and connections to the grid before equipment is distributed between the teams.
We'll be placing the batteries in this room here, and then we'll be making a loop, and we'll put the street light here. So when we put the street light here, this will allow the illumination of this entire passageway.
The team first identified the locations where the panels will be set up, and they also identified at which angle these panels will be put up for the sun rays to come to it. These panels are then connected to the battery through a charge controller. The charge controller makes sure that the amount of current flowing through the battery is constant. Then the teams identify locations where the bulb holders will be put up. Then from the battery, a big wire is taken across and put across all the bulb holders and connects the battery to all the bulbs held in the monastery.
After the survey is complete, the teams will return to the camp and prepare for the next step, wiring the sockets and distributing the equipment. The Grand Puja at the Phugtal Monastery in Lungnak Valley in Ladakh's Zanskar region. The puja marks an auspicious beginning to the solar electrification of the monastery. Three individual teams collect their tools, wires and other equipment and head to the monastery. Each battery weighs up to 50 kilos and carrying it uphill is a task. But with the help of the young monks, 14 such batteries and 8 solar panels, which are part of the solar microgrids, are carried up to the monastery for installation.
इधर लाइट देने वाला बहुत देश से आया और डिफरेंट कंट्री से आया और हम दिल को बहुत खुशी होगा क्योंकि लिए आजकल दुनिया पूरा मिला जुला करके करेगा तो बहुत अच्छा हो गया क्योंकि एक आदमी को तकलीफ होएगा तो एक आदमी वो मदद करना हेल्प करना तो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इंटरडिपेंडेंट.
Christian, are you ready almost? Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Each group had 2 to 3 grids. So we had like the west side, the center, and then here as we are on the south side of the river. And then everybody's designed how many light bulbs would they have to make. How many street lights do they need to light up the entire street area so it's safer for the monks to travel around the streets at night?
Should we just relax?
In 2 days, 20 people collectively fix sockets, wire in the connections and install the 8 microgrids and panels.
Nice, May.
Awesome.
All right, awesome. Great work, Becky.
We're about to head down into a deep lake.
We have one main wire that will go through, and then we will have each individual light bulb that we have will then be connected to that main wire. So essentially, it will just be basically one main wire going through, and then we just attach whenever we need something.
Ramaji, thoda sa side.
It's amazing how we can help him doing this for him. And it's really cool because we're learning new things. I never knew how to do this before.
क्या हुआ? धोता है. क्या हुआ?
Huh?
What happened?
So there's since these houses are very old, there's a lot of dust that is on the top of the logs. So when you're hitting the bulb holder, the entire dust falls on you. But I think all this is worth it once they feel happy when they see the light for the first time. Jule?
The chambers, deep within the caves of the monastery, are devoid of any natural light, with ceilings as low as 4 feet.
It is very tiring. The conditions are not necessarily optimum. They're tight quarters. It's quite hot. It's very dusty, and the work is a little bit harder than expected.
It's hot. I'm high up. Yeah, I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing, as you can tell. It's all a little bit sloppy, but it's good fun.
You good? Right now pretty heavy, but it's because I'm holding this guy.
You ready?
Okay, wait up. Come on, get down. Get down. Let go, let go. Sorry.
How do you feel?
Good. No, we are trying to move as fast as we can to get these things done, but we don't always have all the equipment we need, so we have to make do with what we have.
Heading out from the end of this dark passage, Graham has just finished wiring an apartment, whose resident is waiting anxiously outside.
आराम से तुझे ना होने पूजा तुझे ना या जो है ले
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
ऐसा जो
The team spends hours under the scorching sun to ensure that the lights are fitted perfectly.
Yeah, the wiring got cut. So there's a short circuit in there. You just need to flip it over.
Lighting the kitchen, the only one in the monastery, is a priority. Its walls bear testimony to years of burning kerosene and wood.
As you can see, it's built right up into the rock face. Got the cooking implementations here. Where the camera is standing here is where the chopping of all the vegetables happens. So that's why they do it right next to the light. But once it gets dark over here, they can't see anything over there. So it's very important to get some light into the kitchen.
For the first time, the Lungnak Valley will get its own television with a direct-to-home connection. The little monks are simply captivated by moving pictures.
Right now we are at the installation of the light bulbs inside the bulb holders and the frames, the PV panels. Once that is done, we'll begin the testing towards the evening, and in the night we'll have the final grid on.
What's great is how much interest they've all taken in their own infrastructure, from where things are going to where the lights should be, from the Lamajis to the kids.
Okay, come. ये best है, but इसका position we have to check.
It's hard work, but it's great.
Have you done this before?
No, it's the first time mixing cement. But these guys are teaching us. Because we're gonna secure these panels down on the roof so they don't blow away. I really love the idea of giving electricity to people so they can do more with their time, study. Because it's healthier too than using kerosene.
सन वाला रोशनी जल रहा है, इसका मतलब बैटरी उसका चार्जिंग हो रहा है. So the team finished off the wiring, and we had done almost the entire installation. The panels were there, the batteries were there, the charge controller was there, the bulb holders were there, the bulbs were there. And when we were just about to switch on the grid, what we realized was there were villagers who had come from the nearby villages, 2 to 3 hours of trek distance, to the monastery to see the lighting, and they had all come in their traditional gear, and they had got all their musical instruments with them. We started dancing with them.
Villagers from Lungnak Valley gather to celebrate the solar electrification of the monastery, with the team joining in the celebration.
This is amazing experience. I don't know what to say, but the thing is, today, आज की शाम सबसे अच्छी शाम होने वाली है, क्योंकि जितने भी लोगों ने मेहनत की है, चाहे वो GH के लोग हो, बाहर से 20 टीम मेंबर्स हो या NDT के 5 मेंबर्स हो, जितने भी आए थे उनकी हार्ड वर्क आज शाम को रंग लाएगी. आज शाम को फुक्तल मोनेस्ट्री में इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आने वाली है, तो ये उसकी सेलिब्रेशन है. We all are hoping for the best. Celebration हो गई चीज हार्ड के, बट वे तब रंग लाएगी जब फुक्तल मोनेस्ट्री लाइट अप.
As the sun goes down and it's dark once again, the monks once again gather in the main prayer hall. But this time, it's to witness history in the making.
Shakir. Yes, 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 almost there.
Sure है overload आ रहा है.
1 second.
Grid number 7. On करो.
All right, I'm here. 3, 2, 1, on.
लाइट कैसा लगा?
बहुत अच्छा लगा यार. ये सर लाइट अभी तक कभी नहीं आया. Thank you, sir.
It's an emotional moment, not just for the monks, but also the team.
It's just such an amazing experience. It's been a privilege, an absolute privilege to being involved with this. It's just, I think it's taken so much for us to get here, and for some it's probably to overcome a lot of fears and things, with the walk and the travel. And then today, there was parts during today where I just thought we would never actually finish, but we did, and it's just an absolute amazing thing.
I'm so excited I can't describe how I feel right now. It's an amazing experience. We all feel so proud of this. We all feel honored to be here.
Kangar majung tini but memang izam sik tini yahab memang tini ma nishu zam jigi tasam tupa Phugtal gun ben hangla izam jepsi juga negi tini ma sofa chenma bu darang gomarang tini yulep tini.
Several months of hard work has finally paid off. Phugtal is shining.
Finally the grid got on. The first thing was there were just tears in my eyes, and just to see that happiness on the faces of the lamas and the young lamas, the youngest lama, just clapping and looking at the light bulb, and just praying and worshipping and looking at the light bulb. So just priceless.
When Paras said, Shakir, grid number 5 switched on, it was all lit up. It was so huge, we were not able to believe our eyes. And those small lamas, monks, dancing, clapping. I remember that lama, that old lama, dancing and saying, hey, 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 hey. We haven't done anything big, but the thing is, it's a message to the whole world. Everybody can do this.
One man's vision has changed the lives of many, in this case, an entire monastery. As these change makers head back, the one thing they take with them is an extraordinary experience and the knowledge that they will always remain connected to Phugtal Monastery. And this one step has brought them closer to lighting the Himalayas.